So, hi everyone, a very good morning to all of you. I welcome you to the morning transform session with me, Dr. Sumer, and Dr. Deepti every day in the morning at 10 a.m.
Hanji everyone, a very good morning to everybody. Hope everybody is doing well. Okay.
Okay, so before we start today, I just wanted to give you the context behind today's transform session. I had the fortune of, in the last 2, 3 days meeting a lot of parents and a lot of students. By chance, I met them, somewhere or some other way. And a lot of them had similar queries, and I thought we should address this query in a more detailed manner for all of you. That problem that I saw was there were some students who were good in concepts, who were doing multiple revisions of their notes, but they were not going into the application part of it. And there were some students who were blindly doing MCQs but not having the concepts. So we have to today deep dive into how to find out what is holding me back. Is it my concepts? Is it my application? And I also would like to now take this position to talk about the content funnel, testing funnel, and I'll try to give you the ideas that really work. So I'll ask Dr. Deepti to start, and then I'll add on to it.
Absolutely, yes. So, over a span of last 2 years, we have seen the change in the NEET PG pattern, right? That there are a lot less one-liners. They're still there, but they're a lot less. And most of the questions are in the form of very close options, right? They may be small clinical vignettes, but the options are very close. So, what happens when the options are close, and why do some of us tend to not get the exact number of correct questions that we were anticipating? So, you have to understand anybody who is reading, for the exam eventually is able to reach to a zone where they are able to rule out two options very clearly and they are stuck with two. मेरा मतलब है अगर किसी ने थोड़ी भी पढ़ाई करी है, if they are studying for NEET PG INI-CET, almost everyone close to the exam is in a zone that they're able to rule out two options and they are stuck between the two, right? And this is where the entire competition lies. Okay, the difference between you or us and let's say the top rankers is going to be that the number of questions that they get confused in two options is far less than what we get confused in. Okay, and that becomes the rank deciding factor, which means it is very important that when the options are close, we have to learn the art of knowing what is a better answer. Okay, that will only happen when you have your concepts clear in depth, so that you know what are the keywords, how to integrate the keywords, and on top of that you should be able to apply the information into the MCQ. So sometimes they are twisted, right? The options are twisted, the question is twisted. Then we need to know that it's not just knowing the facts, it's also how using them in an MCQ can help me rule out options, right?
And the idea is that whenever we are studying, the phase one is concept building. It is about going into the detail. At DAMS, we would always say, listen to the lectures, make your workbooks, make your notes. This is where you start with the journey. Now, but you will see at DAMS, when we are going forward, we would at a certain time tell you shift from notes to LRR. Then we will tell you shift from LRR to DVT. So the first message I want you to have is I have met many students who are in a perfection trap. They will say, sir, I am not shifting to LRR, I'm not shifting to DVT because I love my main notes. I also love them. It's not like that I don't love them. But the key is I need to know when to shift only to high yield. That is the first pyramid I want you to have. That as I'm going to come closer to the exam, I am going to reduce the time I'm spending on the main notes. I'm going to shift to the DVT and LRR. And my
So,
answer to this is that, some of you will ask me the time frame after this is you have to For like, for example, if you are a NEET PG aspirant, you maybe March or February end, mid of February would be the time where you make this shift, not before that.
Yes, that is very, very essential. The reverse is also true. You know, sometimes you get in a trap and you think, oh, I've already reached 125. Now I just need to go here, for which I am going to do something short, something which I am able to do faster. And that is again the other extreme. Not doing the right things at the right time, although you're putting in energy, you're putting in efforts, uski kami nahi hai. The problem is you're selecting the wrong content at the wrong time. So, for example, we are saying that the exam is going to be in June, right? But you think, no, as
And the
of now,
INI will be happening in the May, and you will have the, so both of them, the timelines would remain same. 2 to 3 months before the main exam, you go into the
yes,
revision mode. You don't go into revision mode early, but you don't stay in the notes mode in the end. You understand? So you have to look at the funnel. Funnel is the most important thing. Funnel is the key for your concepts. But I wanted to, interrupt madam and, add a line here. The grand test and the testing funnel is opposite. You start your journey with more of your class tests, but maybe you might start at 1 GT every month, but gradually this has to broaden as I reach closer to the exam. It has to increase to 2 GTs per month, 4 GTs per month, 8 GTs per month. I just want to remind you, before last year's NEET PG, exam was supposed to happen in June, and they suddenly postponed it to 2 months later. I came on this channel in Transform and I told my children, कि boss, अब 2 महीने में, to keep the axe sharp, you need to give 10 GTs. And all the students who got good rank, you will see most of them they were saying, sir, वो 10 GT वाला formula बहुत काम आया. वो क्यों काम आया? Because towards the end we need to sharpen the axe further. So this is the understanding I want you to have. You have to play between the concepts and application. Concepts, application. Isolation of one thing will not work out. Now, suppose I'm only doing notes, it will not work out. Only doing tests without notes, then I will be, lost in the sea without the direction. I'm trying to swim, but I don't know what is to be done. This combination is the key to tracking the exam.
also, I would want to highlight here that बहुत जल्दी करके भी कोई फायदा नहीं है. For example, somebody says, let's say we are anticipating INI-CET in May and we are anticipating NEET PG in June, और आप बोलो कि मैम मैं ना बहुत जल्दी करने की कोशिश कर रहा हूँ ताकि मैं दिसंबर तक सब खत्म कर लूँ और फिर मैं बस पढ़ता रहूँ या पढ़ती रहूँ. Now there is a big flaw in this, राइट? आप देखोगे हर बार जब एग्जाम पोस्टपोन होता है, एंड यू विल ऑल टेल मी दिस, दो तरह के बच्चे होते हैं. एक बोलते हैं मैम जैसे ही एग्जाम पोस्टपोन हुआ somehow something happened and I lost track of it. और एक बच्चे होते हैं कि हमने उसका फायदा उठाया. क्या आप मुझे ये बता सकते हो ज्यादा नंबर किस तरफ है? More students lost track because of the exam postponement, or more students used it as, oh God, this is an opportunity, I'm going to brush up and I'm going to get better? Where do you think the majority lies? So I'm waiting for your answers and then I'll tell you what I have to tell you, right?
And side by side, I'll ask you two villains, and it could be either of the two. Is the villain in your life telling you, okay, the perfect people win, and you're trying to be too perfect? It could be a villain, because then you are not shifting your gears. Like I told you, NAMS, the gear has to shift from notes to revision resource, and the GT gear has to change to increasing the frequency of grand test. But if I'm too perfect, I will try to spend too much time and I'll not change the gear. That is the one villain. Second villain is, superficiality. One was
Yeah.
perfect. परफेक्शन में भी प्रॉब्लम है, लेकिन सुपरफिशियलिटी में कोई नहीं जीत पाता. सर मैं तो सोच रहा हूँ एक हफ्ते में पढ़ लूंगा और कुछ करूंगा नहीं और मैं एम से टॉप कर जाऊंगा. तो बाकी क्या कर रहे हैं भाई? ऐसा थोड़ी होगा. इट इज अ कॉम्पिटिटिव एग्जाम. सो यू नीड टू फाइंड दैट बैलेंस. दैट बैलेंस इज क्रिटिकल. दैट आई एम गोइंग डीप एनफ, but I am applying them as well.
Yes. So, what I feel is majority of students tend to, lose track of things when the exam is far away, right? Because you think, okay, there is gap. Let me do this first. Let me do that first. Or the consistency is lost, right? So please understand, बहुत पहले भी idle होके, when you don't have any targets, that is where the problem starts. See, till the time we keep giving you targets, आज ये करो, आज ये करो, अब हम ये करेंगे, अब हम अगले महीने ये करेंगे, it all works out. The moment you are left by yourself, right, where there are no targets to meet, there is no urgency, the exam is 5 months down the line, the problem is the students tend to lose consistency and track. So it's very essential that we plan things accordingly. Don't compromise your first reading, is what I would genuinely say. Whether you are a repeater or you're someone who's starting afresh, please don't compromise the first reading, because if you think that the first reading is compromised, but you will get much better ranks eventually, sorry, it doesn't happen that way. Okay, whatever input you're going to give, it's not just in terms of number of hours you are studying, it's not just in terms of you have given up every other thing, like I'm not playing, going for a movie, spending time with friends, everything. It's also about the consistency that has to be there. It also has to be the kind of depth that Dr. Samir was talking about, right? So it is very essential to know that your first reading and your first revision, listen to me very carefully. First reading for those who have started this year for the next year exams, and first revision for those who are dropping out. Please do not make a compromise on these two. They are very, very important.
Now I'll take some queries. एक बच्चे का क्वेश्चन है कि how much time should I spend in my first reading? It is like somewhere between 6 to 8 months is the ideal time. Maybe you can put 6 months as the ballpark figure. Some people
I
are
think
able to
six
do
months is
in
fair.
some people are able to do it in 4 to 6 months also. So 6 months is a good average time in the DAMS video lectures to cover that material. And
Yes.
I have another suggestion, and that is something that we have done this year. This year in our app T&D, we did a lot of research in the DAMS Alpha edition. And what we realized was there is a fair bunch of students who would want to study but are unable to study because of lack of targets. So this year, what we've done in the T&D is we have increased the number of tests and discussions by adding 2 cycles and actually 3 cycles per year. So that makes it to maybe something like 90, 80 or 90 tests, probably more than that, happening pan year with a schedule. Now, this is something I wanted to tell to students also. That suppose you follow the DAMS T&D schedule on the app religiously. This word religiously is very important. Now, suppose I have to go to a temple on a particular day. Will you go on that day or any other day is okay? You have to go on that day. That is religion. That is religiously. Same thing that on the DAMS app T&D, when you have a live T&D, that is the day you have to appear for the test. Suppose I follow this religiously, that means I will finish my syllabus in the time given for the T&D, appear for the test, make some mistakes, attend the discussion, kill the mistakes. Make some mistakes, kill the mistakes. I feel this is the way we have to work on the application. This especially for if you are repeating in any exam, this is the zone where you have to work most. You have to revise before the test, in the time frame, not endlessly, not in a perfection trap, in the time frame, appear for the test. Don't be afraid of appearing for the test. Nobody is judging you. Nobody is judging you, beta. Nobody. Listen to me. No one. All your teachers, all your parents, they want you to be happy. कोई judge नहीं कर रहा. They want you to be happy. And they know, we know that your happiness lies in, pursuing what you want to do. So to help you reach to that zone, you need to appear for tests, make mistakes, listen to the discussion with the teacher, ask your doubts in the live session, next paper. Like this. You keep going on. And once a month GT, gradually twice a month, then 4 times a month, keep increasing the frequency GT. I am telling you, you will see massive change if you follow my approach of this. But the key word here will be religiously.
Yes, and especially for students who are dropping, if you realize, go back to your undergraduation days and it is going to hit you hard. What were we doing in our undergrad days? In undergrad days, we were reading. Most of the times, we were reading, but we wanted to give the test. That was the big difference that we are not doing now. So, adding the test to your, if you've especially read your content once, Okay, so it is essential that you have read your content once. Then, adding tests as targets, and, especially if it is coming once a week, it keeps you very, very focused that this is what I have to do in this week. I have to try and revise my notes. I have to try and solve the PYQs. I'm going to appear for the test. I'm going to figure out what are my weak zones, and then I'm going to hit on my weak zones. The more you do that, the better you keep getting with number one, your MCQ skill also. Number two, you also keep getting better with your revision. Every time you're reading, you're taking lesser and lesser time, and that helps to you to do multiple revisions, see whether you're able to apply your concepts or not. So having a test at the end of a week is like the best possible target. अभी मैं देख रही थी कुछ बच्चे ये भी लिख रहे थे कि रियल एग्जाम में मुश्किल इसलिए होती है कि एक टाइम फ्रेम होता है एंड द क्लॉक इज टिकिंग. Yes, that's what pressure does to you. So some amount of pressure with the form of targets, especially, even if you're reading by yourself, it is very essential to have those targets as a checkpoint. Your checkpoint cannot be a final exam. Yes?
And also, I'll add something to it. I met many students who said, "Sir, I had purchased DAMS T&D, and there was a schedule on the DAMS app, and I was following my own schedule." That doesn't work like this. Now, what happens is, suppose this week you are having a dermatology test, but you are like, "Sir, I will study derma later on. Right now, I'm studying ophthalmology. I'm studying it for 2 weeks." Now, the problem what happens is you tend to overdo on a subject. Suppose on a subject like forensic medicine, suppose you give 1 month to forensic. तूने 1 महीना दे दिया, तू परफेक्शन वाला बच्चा है, मैं तेरी बात भी मान गया, लेकिन उसमें जितने क्वेश्चन आने उतने ही आएंगे ना. तू जीत ही नहीं पाएगा अगर तू ऑब्स गाइनी नहीं करेगा, तू पीएसएम नहीं करेगा, तो कैसे करेगा? डैम्स के टीएनडी के अंदर ऑब्स गाइनी के बहुत सारे टेस्ट आएंगे. ऑब्स का टेस्ट आएगा, गाइनी का टेस्ट आएगा, आईएनआई टेस्ट आएगा, इस तरह से. सो यू विल हैव lot more windows on subjects where we have more questions. We will have medicine 4 tests, different topic wise, surgery 3 tests. So what will happen is that you have to trust the system that we are putting you in. Especially when you're repeating, you have to say, boss, I have to trust the system and follow the timeline of the TND rather than follow your own timeline. अभी समझने की कोशिश करना. Suppose तूने आफ्ता का TND था, but you were not studying आफ्ता this week. What will happen? तेरा पेपर खराब होगा and you will come and say, मेरा सर इसलिए खराब हुआ क्योंकि ना मैं अभी पढ़ नहीं रहा था ये. And you will not be able to truly judge yourself and find your weaknesses, which is the critical asset. We have to find our weaknesses.
And what I would say here is that things are a little different for interns. See, what Dr. Sumer said is very, very essential for people who are dropping or who are just not working and consistently giving their 6 months to their preparation, right? Maybe you're a post intern, maybe you're dropping this year, whatever it is. Then yes, following the schedule is the key for you, because that is where you tend to go overboard. कि मेडिसिन ही पढ़ते रहे 2.5 महीने, राइट? फिर 2.5 महीने सर्जरी पढ़ते रहे, and somehow you lose track. But for my interns, I would say go flexible. It is absolutely okay, because there would be certain postings where you get less time, and then there will be certain postings where you have more time with you. So for the current interns, this is exactly why we have given the live TND also. We give a recorded part as well, and even when the live is over, even that is put up as a recorded version. So for the interns, I would say make use of your free postings to cover the bigger subjects. And yes, the TNDs are already available, recorded also, the live will also come. एक बार जब live हो जाता है तो वो upload भी हो जाता है as recorded, right? And in your lighter postings, you cover bigger subjects, and in your heavy postings, cover your short subjects, and close to the exam, you can cover up the volatile subjects as well. Okay?
And also this year in the DAMS Alpha edition, we have gone a next level for our face-to-face or app live students. Even for you, we have included a special TND curated only for you people. So which is already started. So what we are trying to do is we are trying to mix and match things for you. We are trying to give you concepts. We are trying to give you applications. But if in it you increase the complexity by saying कि सर इसको थोड़ा मैं बाद में करता हूँ, इसको बाद में करता हूँ, बाद कभी नहीं आएगा. Is my big message for you today. इफ यू से मैं ग्रैंड टेस्ट बाद में दूंगा, बाद तो कभी आने वाला नहीं है, बात तो कभी आने वाला नहीं है, आ ही नहीं सकता, मेरा ही नहीं आया
अच्छा,
अब तक. So it has to be, you have to make that effort, and we have again done another thing this year in the alpha edition. Even in the T&D, which was earlier a 1 year subscription, we have increased it to 2 and 3 year subscription options also. Because I believe that someone who is mixing and matching reading testing throughout the year for 2 3 years would have a massive edge over anybody else, because वो दोनों चीज साथ में कर रहा है. But the only thing is you need to follow the schedules. That is the suggestion I have.
and then the next part where we are talking about concepts and application of concepts, the next important thing when we talk about this is that you will realize the time management issue also gets sorted when you are clear with the application. देखो किसी भी question में time ज़्यादा क्यों लगता है? Because you have to think a lot. And why do you have to think a lot? Because you're not able to differentiate the key things, the key findings, the words that make a difference, right? So it is very essential that when there are two different things. One is solving MCQs as a daily habit, okay? The other is committing an answer, and they are totally different, right? कई बार जब हम DQB कर रहे होते हैं, even if you don't know the answer, you're like, अच्छा चल दबा के देख लेता हूँ, उसके बाद आंसर पता लग जाएगा, right? But then this is not committing, and you're not making your brain work hard. That is why it has to be a right mix of doing the DQB and the right mix of doing the test. तो अगर आप देखोगे, whenever I give you targets for the day, they are mixed bag targets. Have you realized? There will be a module that I will ask you to do from DQB, okay, which should be, I would say, coherent to the subject that you are studying. And there will be a mini test as well as a target. And they solve different purpose. Both are going to ensure that we are doing MCQs every single day, which means habit forming. But in one, I am focusing on whatever I am reading, I am able to apply or not. And through the test, we are doing spaced revision, right? Of something that we may have covered in the past. Second, we are learning to commit answers. We are learning to work out in the options. We are learning to identify keywords. We are learning to see what topics are volatile for me. So do the right mix. आप हमेशा नोट करोगे मेरे डेली टारगेट्स में दोनों का मिक्स होता है. देयर इज अ क्यू बैंक मॉड्यूल कि DQB में से आज सबने ये करना है, मुझे मार्क्स बताने हैं, ठीक है. एंड देयर इज अ मिनी टेस्ट टारगेट कि चलो भाई आज सब ऑर्थो का टेस्ट दो. And it doesn't matter whether you have revised ortho or not. No. As I said, the purpose of mini test is spaced repetition. Okay. And I will let everyone know that in the month of October, I am going to start a special test series for INI-CET, right? Which will be mini test only for INI-CET exam, and we will do it entire October, which is going to be close to your NEET exam. So we'll ensure we give you daily mini tests apart from the T&Ds that you are doing, because NEET T&D itself is very, very effective. But we will do mini tests also based on targets so that we are able to do spaced revision or repetition, right?
Dr. Deepti, I'll request that if you can make the mini test unlocked for some time for all the students, and also can we do something on the YouTube also? Maybe, what do you think?
Maybe
अक्टूबर में
not
आए.
unlocked, but yes, on the YouTube, I will do a different series. We will see what we can plan for revision, but let's see, right? So, it is essential that we do the right mix so that we have targets also, we are doing daily practice also, and we are able to think, commit answers, rule out options, integrate topics, integrate subjects, and that keeps us going on the track, right?
So, the entire idea behind today is that we need to find our villain. Sometimes trying to be too perfect is also a villain, because you're trying to be too perfect. जैसे मैं बहुत सारे बच्चों को देख रहा हूँ कि अगर मेरा कोर्स अभी भी खत्म नहीं हुआ तो मैं टेस्ट अभी दूं कि अभी बाद में दूं. बाद में भी खत्म नहीं होगा, कोर्स तो कभी खत्म नहीं होगा. So you have to keep the idea कि boss, I have to appear for this test irrespective and try to see my knowledge, residual knowledge, apply. The balance between concept and application leads to top ranks. It is not that people who are not scoring well, ऐसा नहीं है कि उन्होंने पढ़ाई नहीं की, पढ़ाई तो सब कर रहे हैं बेटा, पढ़ तो
I
सब रहे
know.
हैं. The idea is क्या मैं उस तरह से पढ़ रहा हूँ जैसा एग्जाम का पैटर्न है? Am I trying to be in the pattern of the paper? MCQ exams need three things. Phase one is always concepts. Phase two is always revision. Along with it, aggressive testing is the key. Go back to your school teachers. They will tell you the same. Go back to your
Yeah.
parents. They will tell you the same. फेज वन में फंडे बनाने हैं, फेज टू में रिवाइज करना है, और पूरा साल अपने आप को टेस्ट देने की मशीन बनाना है. यू फॉलो माई वर्ड्स, you will be winning the game. If it hits you today, listen to me loudly. I'm speaking to you. टेस्ट ना देना तेरा विलन है. टेस्ट देना शुरू कर दे. It will help you a lot. It will change your life. It will change the way you approach the MCQs, because we are trying to shy away from the outcome. हमें लग रहा है टेस्ट खराब होगा तो मैं डिप्रेस हो जाऊंगा, लोग क्या कहेंगे, पापा मम्मी क्या कहेंगे, टीचर क्या कहेंगे. कोई कुछ नहीं कहेगा. They are all there to help you. They all want you to be happy, and your happiness is our goal. To make sure that you are happy, we have to grill you. You have to appear for the tests, and that is why on the DAMS app we started the T&D series. That was the vision 25 years back when we started the T&D, because we know without test, half of the students do not know how to balance the time, how to think on the day of the exam, how to tackle the negative marking. You have to start appearing for test. Please hear me loud. Please start doing it.
Okay, I'll take up the last query and then we will
I like,
wind
again
up
I
these.
see एक बच्चा कह रहा है सर, रोशन आ रहा, सर आई एम स्केयर्ड ऑफ गिविंग अ ग्रैंड टेस्ट. जिससे तू डर रहा है उसी को हराना है. दैट इज वेयर योर विक्ट्री लाइज.
Yes, absolutely. And there's one more query that I see, that I'm a third year bacha and my test score is not improving. So please understand, beta, when you're in third year, first of all, let me appreciate you for all the efforts that you're making and the consistency that you're trying to keep, right? And I would say, as a third year student, your first goal has to be building your core content and your core concepts. Don't be, in a hurry to give tests. Spend time in, daily MCQ habits, right? To see whether you're able to apply or not the concepts and build your content well. हर थर्ड ईयर बच्चे का गोल ये होना चाहिए कि इन दिस ईयर I will try and attend all classes so that my concepts are cleared and my notes are ready, my workbooks are ready, right? Second, I will do my third year subjects as if I'm doing them for the last time. मतलब वो इतने पक्के होने चाहिए कि अगर दोबारा एक कम टाइम में भी रिवाइज करना हो, आई एम एबल टू डू इट. यस, so that should be a first target. Second, because I'm in third year, I have the advantage which some other students may not have. So what we will do is, in the third year itself, we will try and cover some ground in the big subjects of fourth year, right? So medicine, surgery, obs and gynae. कोशिश करेंगे कि इनके तो फंडे हमारे अगर अभी क्लियर हो जाएं, so it will really give us the edge. It would also take the pressure off from your shoulders. ठीक है? So all the third year bachas, this is what your goal has to be.
So again, if you're a third year, I'll again say you start with concepts.
Yes.
Then you press the pedal on the testing later on. मतलब शुरू में टेस्ट देंगे, थोड़ा धीरे धीरे देंगे. By the time we come closer to the exam, we press the pedal on the revision, we press the pedal on the giving the test. Initially concepts, आखिर में टेस्ट. ये बैलेंस बनाना. दो ट्राइंगल सोचो, एक ट्राइंगल ऐसा है, एक ट्राइंगल उसके एकदम उल्टा है. That is the idea that is we wanted to share with all of you. And today, my final message to you is only one. All of us are afraid of testing ourselves. The reason is because we are afraid of the outcome. We are afraid of the outcome. हमें लगता है यार कुछ गलत ना आ जाए. We are afraid of testing ourselves. And in that, and we also start thinking the others might judge us based on the outcome. And sometimes those others are even close to us. We are like, यार parents को बुरा ना लग जाए, यार इसको बुरा ना लग जाए. At the end of the day, but if we don't test ourselves, we will never know what are my gaps in my understanding. I will never know how to improve. And it is always better to see the mirror rather than seeing it in the end of the year. मतलब ऐसा ना होना कि मुझे शुरू में पता ही ना हो कि मैं खराब कर रहा हूँ और आखिर में रिजल्ट आए तो पता चले कि यार मैं तो खराब कर रहा हूँ. It is like, let us face it. Let us face the outcome. No one is judging you. Everyone wants you to be happy. Nobody wants you to be down. पेरेंट्स कभी नहीं चाहते ऐसा, कोई तुम्हें जज नहीं कर रहा, मैं फिर कह रहा हूँ, मैं भी नहीं जज कर रहा, कोई जज नहीं कर रहा, सिर्फ तेरी मदद करना चाह रहे हैं। अपने आप को आईना देखना पड़ेगा, टेस्ट देने पड़ेंगे, और उसी से आउटकम आएगा। So if you are not utilizing the tests on your test series, in your T&Ds, you have massive access to tests in your DAMS subscription, massive number of tests। अगर तू नहीं दे रहा, फिर से मैं बोल रहा हूँ, हो सकता है ये वर्ड ज्यादा बार आज की टॉक में आए, टेस्ट, लेकिन टेस्ट ही की है बेटा। टेस्ट अगर नहीं दे रहे ना, तो अगर मेरी बात नहीं मानते, अपने स्कूल के टीचर से पूछ के आ जा। अगर वो भी नहीं लगता, पापा मम्मी से पूछ ले, किसी से भी पूछ ले। बिना टेस्ट दिए नहीं जीत पाते। खाली वीडियो देखते रहेंगे, देखते रहेंगे, देखते रहेंगे, उससे कभी बात नहीं बनेगी। वी हैव टू गेट इनटू द ग्रिल ऑफ टेस्ट। टेस्ट इज द की बेटा।
And lastly, before we go off, we have a big announcement to make. So, me and Dr. Sameer, through DAMS, we have started a new WhatsApp channel, right? It is Transform with DAMS Alpha. We already have around 8,000 members, and I would, ask anyone and everyone, if you want to stay connected to us, maybe in the form of, something, strategies, sometimes motivation, sometimes MCQs, sometimes a mix of everything. You can connect to us through the Transform with DAMS Alpha WhatsApp channel, right? So
I think I can share the link in the comments for these students.
yes, and me and Dr. Sameer are directly there, just like we are here with you on YouTube. And we know at what time, what kind of support, what kind of targets, what kind of rhythm you need. And that is just another way of staying in touch with all of you, right? So everyone is welcome. And we hope we make it something very, very productive, like we are doing with the YouTube here. Okay.
So I hope you get the link in the comments, and just join the channel so that you don't miss out on any announcements, and we'll put some daily questions, some punches of motivation throughout your day. We will be there with, and
It
we
will
wish
be
you
a
all.
mix of everything. That's a promise. It will be academic, it will be motivation, it will be strategies, it will be some pep talks. So, all in one. Okay. So, do join us and take care, everybody. Have a wonderful day ahead. Convert your day into a very, very productive day. Okay. All the best. Thank you so much.
Bye, everyone.